Vishnu, Indra, and Brahma all came from the ancient sage Kashyapa. But before Kashyapa, there was Marichi. But apparently Marichi was born from Brahma. Marichi was a human, though. That means that the caste system was started as a cult by Marichi, who said he was birthed by God. And then Marichi and his sages came up with all the other Vedic gods, which then were the Hindu gods. It was created by a human. Marichi was a dude who created the cult of Vedic and also Hinduism. He came up with all the gods. He said he was created by a god called Brahma. And then the Buddhists said there was a god called Marici, based after Marichi, a human. It was started by a human. 6,000 years ago, there was the Vedas religion. 4,000 years ago, the Hindu religion. 2,000 years ago, the Buddhist religion. And it all started with Marichi. And he came up with all these god ideas. He said he was born from a god, though, but he was a human. The difference between Abraham, the founder of Judaism, and Marichi, the founder of Vedas religion and Hinduism, is he didn't abuse his power, saying he was, first of all, Abraham didn't say he was the sole son of God, but he believed in the one true God, and this was based on from the Babylonian, the Egyptians, the Sumerians. The Vedas and Marichi took the idea. Marichi said that he was the literal son of God, and then him and his priests came up with the caste system, that they were the most holy and all of that. But the truth about Abraham and Judaism was he was among the early Israelites, the first 12 tribes, and they all believed in the one true God. They'd seen what happened with Babylon, they'd seen what happened with Egypt, and they knew there were weak gods that weren't worthy of worship, and there was only one true powerful God, Yahweh, also known as El. Ahura Mazda, he was the god of the Zoroastrians, but they were wiped out by the Muslims, and he hasn't really been doing much since. And Ashur, he was a big-time god of the Assyrians, but he was wiped out by the Babylonians, and ever since. Now, apparently, in the Mesopotamian religion, the goddess Tiamat and Abzu created everything, and then one of the gods, Marduk, killed off Tiamat and Abzu and went on to control things. I don't personally believe that this is the true story of creation. I do believe that Yahweh, also known as El, who is, El created a lot of these other gods, but El is also Yahweh. That's the one true God, also known as Ra in the Egyptian culture. He presented himself as, for when we went into Egypt, the sun was no more, therefore the sun god was with us. Yahweh does represent the sun too. And Marduk was defeated a while back by the Greeks, and ever since then he was no more. He was a false god anyways, and that's that. It's all about Yahweh. After Babylon was wiped out, the one true God was worshipped. Therefore, that's all that was remained to be seen. The true God of the Romans and the Greeks was the ultimate one cosmic God, Yahweh and El. The original gods of Sumeria was Namu, who then created Anu, who then created Enlil and Enki. Sumeria, though, was conquered by Sargon the Great, and Sargon the Great then went on to have his face proclaimed to be the god that would be Ahura Mazda and Ashur. The Sumerian gods apparently created this world via water, groundwater, a mix just like the Egyptians, the Babylonians, but they worshipped multiple gods, and these days neither of their religions exist and are thriving or contributing to much. You gotta worship the one true God, Yahweh, also known as El, Allah, one love. In the ancient Vedic religion that started the Hindu religion, there was a group of sages that claimed they were the divine chosen, that were created by gods, and that these gods created other gods, and then they had humans worship them. They started the caste system, and the Hindus were from the Vedas. There were a lot of other religions, such as the Sumerians with Namu, the water, and Anu, the air god. You know, these countries would, these civilizations would say, oh, the air is the god and the water is the god. And then they had Enlil and Enki from the Sumerians. But there was just so many deities. But this is not the one true God. The one true God is known as Yahweh and also known as El. And the Sumerians worshipped several beings, but they didn't know the one true God. Yahweh is the one true God. It was the Israelites who finally came to the truth. The Egyptian gods also worshipped several deities, with Neith and Nun and Heh being their top creators, and then Khnum, Atum, Ra, Amun, and Ptah. It wasn't revealed to them, though, until the Jews came through and conquered Egypt. When Yahweh entered Egypt and shut down the sun, plunging Egypt into darkness, Ra, the sun god, remained absolutely quiet. Why? Because Ra was Yahweh, the one true God, baby. And that's just how it goes. The one true God did help guide Egypt, and he presented himself as Ra, perhaps even as Heh, as you know, Yahweh. Heh. But Israel, El is Rael. You know how we do that, is the name. The Zoroastrian gods, the Mesopotamian gods, Sumerian gods, and all the Egyptian gods were wiped out after the 6-Day War, and Yahweh was proclaimed as the one true God, baby, also known as El. You know how we do, taking over the game. After the 6-Day War, the Babylonian gods were all defeated as well, the Sumerian, the Mesopotamian, the Egyptian, and that was that, and the one true God now remains, as he always has, the true creator that stemmed from the chaos of the galaxies, the creator from within the universe first spawned, the one true entity, one true God who's taken form of many different deities. He has created many, but his name is El, also known as Yahweh. And we, the Israelites, first came in contact via God choosing a prophet known as Abraham and then Moses. But both of these prophets didn't think they were the sole son of God. They believed in the true one God. They didn't say, oh, I'm the son of God and God created other gods, now worship me. No. They believed in the one true God. We're all children of God. The prophets and founders of all these other religions believed that they themselves were gods, or they just said that to lie to others, to force them to worship them. The believers of Judaism believed in one true God, baby. That's why Judaism's the best. You know how we do. It's quite possible that when people were talking about Yahweh sometimes, because his name is sacred, you know, they would say other things, Adonai, Hashem, that they would possibly say El. And El is just another word for Yahweh. It's a sacred word. The Omrides were the first big kingdom in Israel, other than King David and King Solomon. And King Omri's son, Ahab, his wife, Jezebel, introduced the worship of Baal. And Baal was another god introduced, right, other than Yahweh. For a while they were worshiping him until the prophet Elijah went up to the king, Ahab, and he proposed a challenge, and he proved to the Baal worshippers that their God was false. They, on the top of a mountain, said Baal's name many times and tried to get their sacrifice altar to light on fire, and it didn't work, and Elijah commanded Yahweh to, and boom, fire fell through the heavens, and Yahweh was shown to be the one true, most powerful, supreme God of all. Yes, there's other under gods, but Yahweh's the top, the best. The Omri